Just when I thought I'd never seen anything before in my entire life, I never thought I'd seen anything yet like some of what we've all seen as of lately. And I'm about to show you some of what I'm talking about right now.
This show is for those of you who understand that fearlessness isn't a single action, but it's a lifestyle. So let's freaking go.
It's con whack!
Intense enough to warp the very fabric of space and time.
This is Spain This Nation.
Well, actually, up until this moment, the clock at SNC has always meant another story to chase, the next hour to worry about, sometimes the next minute. Right now, though, it means something else, because the service we used to call the non-stop news machine is about to do just that, to stop for good. Why? Well, business, really, and numbers. Not that there weren't plenty of you. There were millions out there, and some of you were kind enough to say you liked SNC. But the advertising dollars it takes to support a venture like this didn't come fast enough, and they didn't stretch far enough. Maybe we came too soon. In any case, our task right now is to lay the satellite news channel to rest. And so, to paraphrase our old promise, if you'll give us 10 minutes, we'll tell you one last story, our story.
This is the Satellite News Channel. Give us 18 minutes, we'll give you the world.
This is your Satellite News Channel. I'm Jose Grignon, and here's what's happening.
June 21st, 1982, the official birthday of SNC. Not very different from traditional newscasts to the casual viewer, but in reality, something new and very unique.
0, we have engine start, we have liftoff of Delta 160 in the Westar 4 communication satellite.
It would turn out to be the first television news organization to take full advantage of instantaneous communication by satellite. A hunk of metal out there in space with a bunch of transistors inside would give us a glimpse of television of the future. There would be 24 of these things, uplinks built by television stations around the country that would let us show you live pictures from Puget Sound and Washington just as easily as we could point a camera out the window at Long Island Sound from our headquarters in Connecticut.
They cut off the boat. They've just cut off the boat. They may have swamped her. Apparently, that's the end of the protest by that one boat that has broken through. I do see off the...
We were kind of like kids in a candy store. ABC and Group W gave us millions of dollars to build a technological masterpiece. Control rooms that would make all of us drool. The very best in videotape equipment. A graphics department equipped with computerized dreams that stuff is made of. And people, some 300 of them. Talented technicians and professional journalists from all over the country with enough idealism and determination to fill your television set for the next 100 years. Well, at first, like any infant, we could only crawl. It would be months before we learned to walk, and then run, and finally to soar at times. Remember the launch of Challenger? The standoff at the Washington Monument.
It sounds like some pops, and somebody mentioned maybe possible gunfires going on.
Australia, too, at the America's Cup.
There is the rounding of that boat. You see the white smoke just coming off.
The death of Leonid Brezhnev.
They've just announced on Soviet television that Brezhnev has died.
What are the implications of this, Mr. Brown? Can you speculate on that at all?
Election 82.
The results of the midterm elections are being tabulated in parts of the country. Some have called this a referendum on Reaganomics.
The Japanese earthquake.
Panic breaks out in the room. The buildings shaking. Terror reflected in their faces.
And there were those funny moments, most of them totally unplanned.
Well, Los Angeles officials are breathing easier. They're breathing easier, but I'm not.
Amanda Davis, Satellite News Channel, Washington.
Many cities City dwellers have learned to cope with the problem of dog droppings, but it took a Cincinnati judge to rule that even peacocks are subject to pooper-scooper laws. Oh, goodness. Sorry. I can't finish the story.
Philadelphia area. Right now at the airport, it's 55 degrees.
You know, a lot of people come up to me on the streets of downtown Stamford, Connecticut and say, Jeff, how can you spot all of those storms? Well, this morning we're going to reveal our secret. It's our official Captain Video Storm Spotter spectacles. If you had them, you could do it too. That's the weather now from SNC. Beam me up, Scotty.
But most of the time it was good, and it was live and timely, designed to fit into everybody's lifestyle. Give us just a little bit of your time, day or night, and as it says, we'll give you the world. So how do you measure 16 months of news, all live, all the time? Well, in hours, it comes out to 11,825. That's more TV news than CBS has turned out in the entire history of the network. It's some 88 million words, uncounted thousands of pictures of natural disaster, protest, life, and death. For the staff at SNC, time is measured in many ways.
I have counted more raindrops, more clouds in 1 year than most people, including Bob Richards, would do in a lifetime.
What we do in 1 day here is the equivalent of probably a 5 or 6 day week at a regular TV station.
As a director, I've probably directed enough hours. If we were on board one of the space shuttles, we could have made about 800 orbits by now.
If I did the same amount of news someplace else that I've done here, I would be 50 years old.
I think I've done about 6,000 shows, and I could pack it in right now, hit the beach, and never have to work again with all the shows I've done here.
I'd say I've pressed a button for every person in New York City.
Well, if you could run 50 miles a day, I think that would be an accurate description of how much energy you have to put into this operation to make it work.
Yeah, I'd do it again.
Why?
Because it was a unique opportunity to have a hand in starting something that was beginning from scratch, and those opportunities only come along maybe once in a lifetime.
For most of us, though, we measure time in other ways, like remembering those who've left us during the past 16 months. Henry Fonda, David Niven, Ingrid Bergman, Frank Reynolds, Leonid Brezhnev, Princess Grace, Eubie Blake, Tennessee Williams, and Barney Clark, whose artificial heart stopped beating. And there were some births.
A silent vigil is forming outside St. Mary's Hospital, where Princess Diana has been in labor since early this morning. And
that was our first hour of our first day, June 21st, 1982. Barbara Laskin delivering the news that a future king of England was about to be born. And what does all the time and effort mean? Probably not very much. Oh, we've learned and grown. Possibly we've added to your knowledge a little. And perhaps we've helped you through the day or night once or twice. In more cosmic terms, as the name Satellite News Channel implies, we come to you from space. So in 11,825 hours, our first words and pictures have now traveled nearly 8 trillion miles, about a third of the distance to Proxima Centauri in the Milky Way. And they'll just keep on traveling out there, even after we disappear. And maybe, just maybe, somebody out there will see some of this and learn a little about all of us. What makes us tick, what makes us laugh and cry.